Welcome to Rituals and Conversations, where we explore the small daily practices of wellness leaders that keep them grounded and how it has changed their life. I'm so excited to introduce today's guest, Melinda, who is a trauma informed breathwork facilitator who specializes in pranayama and conscious connected breathing. She works with people in Zurich and online, helping them regulate stress, set boundaries, and reconnect themselves through breathwork ceremonies and yoga. So let's dive right into it. Many women, Melinda, struggle to find a moment for themselves. We are living in a very fast paced world. Do you have a 2 minute or a 1 minute breath that they can do anytime to just ground themselves? And
Yeah,
would you be okay to starting this session with that?
of course. Hi, Mina. Thanks for having me. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching. So yes, we have so many stressful moments, be it with kids, be it in the office, be it just because of the crazy schedules we have in our modern life. So breath has the magic and the power to actually ground you and to really connect you with yourself right away. So it's a pretty natural and easy tool we always have on hand. So what I would invite you to do is just take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. So let's do it together. All right. So
Okay, great.
you inhale nose and you just sigh out. Right. You can do this with the voice or just an exhale. Let's do a few more. In nose, exhale mouth, inhale nose, exhale. And this is the easiest thing. Obviously, if you can close the eyes and just, face inward, it helps. But let's do an exercise that is as easy than what we just did, and also so basically, as soon as you touch yourself, let's say the heart space, the chest, and or the belly, it sends a signal to your nervous system that you are safe, held, and all is good. So it calms the nerves already. And if you attach breath to that contact, it's very powerful. So let's do it together. Inhale, relax the shoulders, exhale mouth. One more. Inhale and relax. And that's it. I mean, there's so many more easy, quick tips, but when you start with this, you're going to be fine during the day already.
Wow, thank you so much. That was so beautiful. I love the touching of the heart and the belly and the connection and just relaxing your nervous system. This is a great start. I will share with them how they can get in touch with you to get really deep with the breathwork practice. So now, I would love to know, was there a moment in your life where this kind of practice, the pranayama, breathwork, changed how you showed up in the world?
Yes, totally. The thing is, with breath work, you have an instant reaction, you have an instant effect, but the key is in the practice, and the key is in having the tools in the right moments and knowing how to soothe your nervous system, knowing how to calm your nerves and slow down the mind. So obviously, when you practice over time, you will observe a change in behavior because you don't react instantly out of trigger, but you actually it's a different meeting within relationships and with your environment, right? The dynamics just changing because you're grounded. You're not in fight or flight, but calm and relaxed.
Yeah. So do you see how you were to what you are today?
Yes, I mean, it was a journey. Obviously, I pursued an international career, the typical corporate ladder. And these are high pressure environments. And either you're ruthless or you're people pleaser suffering from other people's ruthlessness and strategic behavior. And it's very toxic. It can be very toxic. You have to be solid in your boundaries and why you're doing this and somehow love what you do because otherwise you won't survive it. That's why so many people also suffer from burnout because it's just quite challenging. And so it took me years. Usually, when you are an alpha, let's say a high performer, you tend to, and I did too, to practice sports that are still in performance. Like you run the marathon, you do the badminton, you do the Bikram yoga, you do the everything that requires even more strength because your self worth is attached to outcome and performance. So you cannot allow yourself to rest. This is all happening on a subconscious level, of course. But I started with pretty intense yoga, vinyasa, Bikram yoga. But once you're in, yoga has a beautiful way to get you somehow, even if it takes some years. But obviously I was curious and then stumbled into yin yoga. And yin yoga was the first time where, after years of practicing yoga, where I finally understood what they all meant with their yoga. Because I had a moment of rest and a moment of connection that was very, like, I don't know, I would call it supernatural, but it was just presence. For the first time, I felt so present. And from there was born a curiosity for all the yogic arts, the healing arts. And I started to discover breathwork, pranayama, which is the yogic breathwork, if you will. Yeah. So I noticed behavioral changes, but also changes in desire, meaning I pursued a career, a certain identity, right? I nourished a certain path in life, which I grew out of. And I would say part of the reason were these practices because they showed me what's actually important for me. So I perceived a shift in value over time.
Sounds like you went from your masculine into balancing your feminine, and you're in that space. And, with the practice of yin and yang, yin yoga, you've balanced it both and you're using that so beautifully. And that's amazing. I think that would be one of the biggest outcomes, right, of having yoga, which is basically union with the divine or yourself, same thing, and using that power of breath to center yourself. And now you're helping others. I think that's an amazing journey.
Yeah.
So, if someone wants to feel calmer today, I know you've shared two really amazing grounding practices, but how can they begin? Someone, like you mentioned, the corporate life, the hustle, no time, but they want to begin. They know that it's time before that burnout hits or even after the burnouts hit.
Yes, that's such an important question. I think everybody has an individual journey, but what I see with all the clients and students, there's a common thread, which is you need a curiosity for yourself. So it starts with the personal development journey and an acknowledgement that you're ready for change and that you want to change. Because if you don't have that intrinsic motivation, it will be very hard to sustain, right? Then it's just another crash diet, but it's not changing anything because you will fall back into old behavior. So it's this openness to explore and to acknowledge I don't know everything, and what I've done so far worked until now, and now I'm ready for something new. And then you start by just prioritizing yourself. And even if it's just for 3 or 5 minutes a day, let's say there's a difference in the morning by pressing, I'd say something on the coffee machine and waiting for the coffee to drop into your cup, and then just, putting on your shoes and leaving the house, like emptying the cup of coffee, or just smelling how the coffee beans like break and seeing the color and, using your senses, being more embodied instead of just being in your head. Because when you're only in your head, you're either in the past, you're in the future, but you're never present. But the moment you become present, the moment you're actually present in your body, you are present. That's the trick, actually. And it only takes a second. It's only a decision on, no, I'm here right now. I'm talking to you. And everything that's happened before, and trust me, it was an intense morning already. And everything that's going to happen after our conversation, it's going to be challenging again. Or, right now I'm here with you. Right now I focus on my breath. I'm speaking, I'm looking, it's just, I decide to be fully here
Mm.
and
Yeah.
we'll snap out of it, and then we come back again. It's a constant practice.
Yeah, I think that was really gold. I love that how someone can start with that coffee example. We all have we all have either a coffee or a tea or a chai or whatever it is. We just make it without thinking. But I love that you said smell it. Be present to that whole making, drinking, be intentional. So that's great because that's again bringing you back to the present moment and to your breath. So thank you for sharing that. That's a great way to start. Now, the most important part and the reason of having this conversation is to know your daily rituals. Your morning ritual, your night ritual. I obviously get that you're constantly getting yourself into the present moment, but we want to know what is your morning and night ritual that someone can take away and get inspired to do.
Yes, I'd love to share. Although I'm a pro, right? I teach other people. So I have a variety, there's a range, and I actually pick and choose according to my needs. So it comes in phases. At the moment, I have a phase of because I'm prepping for like getting ready for a Bali retreat, and there's a lot required from me, like growing into a new skill set and growing into a new confidence and growing into just a different version of myself. And that pulled me out of my comfort zone, and that can be very uncomfortable. So I do a lot of EFT tapping at the moment and um, exhales to release and calm my nervous system. There's, yeah, a lot of self reflection, a lot of tools like tarot, journaling, EFT tapping, calming the nervous system through breath work, or just, this bilateral tapping on the chest, which is super underestimated, but so easy. And talking. I need to speak things into existence and out of my system. So if I don't have a friend, because I don't necessarily need feedback, I just speak it to my voice notes, you know? I just need to get it out and hear myself. Others might prefer writing sometimes. So there are different ways. Find yours. But for me, it's this at the moment.
Okay, that's so say you wake up in the morning and would you do these practices and then start your day?
Yes, because in the morning hours, we still in different brain waves. We are not fully present. It takes a moment to really wake up and function. And basically, when you sleep, you're on delta. When you wake up, you're on theta. And then you get into alpha, and then you get into beta. And beta is the concentration, focus, doing a thing. But until you get there, it's a short window. You have access to the subconscious. And this is why those conversations with yourself are so powerful, because you can challenge the narrative. You can challenge subconscious beliefs, limiting beliefs, and also seed new beliefs. It's a very powerful work. You could do hypno affirmations and stuff like that. But since you asked me what I do at the moment, it's a lot of EFT tapping, reflection on, instead of, projecting myself into who I want to be one day, but why is it one day and not now?
Hmm.
Like work on collapsing timelines and versions of myself. It's
Yeah, that's very powerful. Like programming your mind for the day and quantum jumping. So, like you said, that's a great practice. And after that, do you do some breath work and yoga? Is there any movement that happens?
no, usually, well, I stretch every morning a little bit just to get, but I don't do a full hour of yoga at the moment. It's more in the evenings. It's
Hmm.
evenings where I stretch out or dance out. It depends on the day. When I feel nervous or stressed or frustrated, I dance. It's like whatever allows me to calm down.
Yeah,
So it can be
that's
a
great. Yeah.
tribal dance, or just, a soothing dance where I hug myself or whatever is needed for the day.
Yeah. That's a great way to tell us about your evening night ritual. So that's good.
Yeah, it really depends. It's not like you have to do this every day. It's really do something every day, but be flexible with what you actually need.
Wow, I love how you are, so in your feminine now
Mm.
because having that routine, like I'm going to go to I'm going to, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I'm going to wake up and I'm going to like have this shot, go and do this gym workout and then, which is so set. And I feel that's very masculine and it works for, some people, but you've been so gentle by keeping it flexible depending on the phase of life you are in. And this Bali retreat sounds amazing. Tell us a little bit more before you go.
Well, it's an 8-day retreat in Bali. And despite the beautiful paradise location, it is not holiday. It's still, well, there's yoga every morning, there's breath work, there's sacred ceremony, really getting in touch with the elements, the water purification, the fire transformation, like a lot of ritual that allows you to rest, reset, and actually connect with your inner truth, because it is so loud and noisy in our day to day that sometimes we need a break to actually center and find our voice again. And just to get back to what you were saying with the masculine and feminine, some people need the regimen, some people need the strict, okay, 9 to 5 or whatever. And then
But don't you feel as women, now we're becoming so conscious of our cycles and working, even when we say phases, even on a monthly basis, what I've noticed about myself is during the follicular phase, I am in a different way, whether it's the kind of workout I'm doing, the what I'm eating. And that's when you brought it up. I was like, yeah, that is so feminine to be flexible and not hard and regimented with ourselves. Agreed, it works for some people, but I just feel now as I'm growing older as a woman, I'm embracing that
Yeah.
more.
Yes, yes, yes. I totally see that. And you can even go further working with the moon cycles. Like it was such a calling with my Bali retreat. And when I looked at the astrology, it was like the moment the inspiration hit and the moment the retreat will take place is a 6 month span. And it's like the perfect phase between the new moon and the full moon of this. I mean, when you're into moon cycles, you get it. Like it was so interesting to observe how in tuned I am now, but it wasn't always like that. And
Yeah.
that's what I say in the beginning stages, some need the regimen or the discipline because discipline offers freedom.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and some people, I mean, as I said, I teach yoga, I teach breathwork, I explore all these, I have the tools available. But for some people who are at the beginning, maybe they need some training and discipline to get into the groove. And then once they have it, become flexible with it.
Yeah, I think that's really, really important. The discipline is there, but without being hard on yourself.
Yeah.
And then being flexible and seeing what works. I think that's a great note to end the conversation. And it's been an absolute pleasure to listen to you. And it inspires me to just make some modifications because I got a lot out of this conversation and I hope our listeners as well get something out of it. I will be sharing how they can get in touch with you and also about your Bali retreat. And if they're in Zurich, they can come for one of your breathwork ceremonies. And also, I know you offer them online as well.
Yes. Thank you, Mina, for having me. I wish it was
Pleasure.
longer, but speak to you soon.